and coming to a new situation, I wasn't exactly sure what the role would be. Um, so, my mindset is always just to sort of be my best, whatever that may look like. And for me, I think I did that. I'm proud of sort of this individual season I had. From a team perspective, we far exceeded any expectations that I would have in terms of win losses, playoff seeding, advancing in the playoffs, and probably most importantly, just the culture here. One of the first things I said to Brett in my free agency meeting last July was, from afar, the reason that I wanted to come here was because of the spirit of this group, the spirit of Brett, the culture that they were trying to build, and wanted to be a part of that and add to that. And in that regard, that probably has been the biggest reward for me, is just being a part of that culture here.
About your future right now, but what was this experience like? What was this experience for you playing in Philadelphia? What was it like? How did you enjoy playing in Philadelphia this season, regardless of what happens in the future?
I don't want to offend any of the other places I've been or teams I've been on, but this was probably my favorite year of my career. Playing in Philly is its own experience, and our fans, the city, the buzz about sports and about this team was amazing. And it's, I think I said this on media day. It's like the first time I'll ever play in a real sports town, and that definitely lived up to those thoughts. I mean, it was awesome to play in Philly.
JJ, what do you have to do as a group to take this and continue to improve for next year, if you're still around?
It's a very open-ended question, so bear with me for a second while I do my organize my thoughts. But I think we obviously have some cap space. Brian in the front office will I'm sure look to improve the roster. I think there's also something to be said for continuity. So while improving the roster, trying to sort of bring back as many guys as possible. And then the third part of that would be just each individual guy, growing and getting better as a player. I think that's sort of each guy's responsibility in the off season, is to come back in September, October, a better player, more in shape, more skilled, better frame of mind. The great thing about that is with the young guys we have, they have a ton of room to grow. They're already fantastic players, and those guys are just scratching the surface of what they can do in this league. So that would be sort of my overarching, theme for roster and next year.
Based on what you just said, with the cap space and everything, I know that you want to come back, and with the leadership that you provided, have they given you any indication that they want you to come back next year?
I think that it's a mutual appreciation, and I'm sure we all hope that I am back. The numbers can get tricky. It's not my job to worry about that. So I'll let Brian, my agent, and the events over the next 2 months sort of play out, and we'll make a decision.
JJ, how long do you think you have good play in you?
I don't know. I feel like I have had my best years after 30. I feel like there's still ways to get better. I feel like I pick up something every year in regards to my body and recovery. so in that regard, I still feel like I'm in the prime of my career, and how long that lasts, I don't know, but I feel like I can play at a high level for another 5 years.
JJ, when it comes to the mutual appreciation, having said that, is there a requisite in terms of financially or minutes played you're expecting?
I would
moving
never worry.
forward?
I would never worry about minutes played. In terms of financial, that's something that every free agent has to weigh. There's always going to be different scenarios that may happen, and so you certainly have to weigh contract length, AAV, total value, winning, proximity. You weigh all those things. So again, that's I won't even think about that for 6 weeks. It's just too early.
How important is proximity? Oh, I'm sorry.
JJ, what was it about this system that allowed you to be successful and thrive in it?
There's a lot of good things, body movement, ball movement. I think the personnel fit. I think we could be even better. Especially offensively, I think we could be even better once we. If we had continuity, I think we could be better. So, I think players get pigeonholed into being this or that, but I think if you're a good player in this league and you have sustained success in this league, really what you are is adaptable. And I didn't get the same play calling that I got in LA, and certainly not in Orlando. And you just sort of figure it out based on how the team plays and what the team needs.
What were your impressions of how Joel and Ben handled themselves and the team this year, and how well equipped do you think the two of them are to move this franchise forward as part of the young core?
Yeah, they're very well equipped, and they both had phenomenal years. I think Ben should be Rookie of the Year. Joe will make an All-NBA team. So I think you could say that both of those guys had very successful years, and both have a lot of room to grow. They are sort of the franchise players for the Philadelphia 76ers, and they'll be that for years to come. They're great players.
JJ, you talk about exceeding expectations from the start of the season, just wanting to make the playoffs to, on the cusp of the Eastern Conference Finals. When you look back on the season as a whole, what allowed this team to exceed those expectations?
Growth. We got better. I felt like we got better every month, with the exception of that, 2-week stretch in December where we lost 10 of 12. And that's a credit to our guys. That's a credit to our coaching staff. There was like marked improvement throughout the season, and you could quantify that, and you can see that. Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, seriously.